if you're not a basketball casual,
Knicks
Julius
fans
Randle
hate him, by the way. I'm just saying. It's true, they do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Julius Randle podcast, the Julius Randle hate podcast, where we hate on Julius Randle.
I'm not hating. He's a good player.
Yes, you are.
I just think he's overrated.
Every year on fantasy basketball, if I'm in the league, I get Julius Randle.
Why?
Yeah, he is a great regular season stat pattern.
Numbers.
He's a stat pattern. There it is. He's a stat pattern. Thank you. Thank you for saying it.
Oh man,
that's what he is.
I'm a sip my ghost over here.
Shout out to Ghost. Make sure y'all sponsor this episode, by the way.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna leave that. Welcome to the Three in the Paint podcast. I am your host, Jeremiah Salmonson, along with Leo Beas and Mark Haynes, the co-hosts. We're back, another episode 4 of the Three in the Paint podcast. We got a great show for y'all today. How y'all doing today?
I'm excited, y'all.
Yeah?
Can't wait to get this going.
Excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild one. We're going to get right into it.
Uh-oh, let's go. Let's go.
We're gonna make people a little mad with this one, but that's what we do at the Three in the Paint podcast.
Right.
Are the New York Knicks still a free agent destination?
When have they ever been?
Oof, here we go.
That's the thing for me. We always talk about it. Every free agency. We say New York, New York, New York. Last person they got that was a really big name was Carmelo Anthony. How many years ago was that?
That's fair.
But every single year, it's like New York. Who's going to New York? LeBron James is a free agent. This person's a free agent.
Did Carmelo sign there? He got traded there.
He got traded there. Good point.
Who actually signed there? Was it Amari?
Spike Lee.
Yeah, Amari
Lee
was first.
The last free agent.
Okay.
Carmelo got traded there.
Okay.
And that's how they got there.
Right.
What
The biggest name has been Jalen Brunson, right?
And
really everybody was mad that he got too much money.
Yeah, so it wasn't really the same thing. It was like, New York wasn't happy about it.
Right.
They wasn't happy about it. So when has New York been the destination?
I'm not sure, but New York right now is changing the culture, I think. I think they have a great roster.
Mm-hmm.
They're just injured. OG's out. Julius Randle's been out, right? But when he was playing after that trade, they were beating everybody. And they made some moves at the deadline where they got guys like Alec Burks, where they got Bojan Bogdanovic, right? And they've been getting a lot of praise, and potentially they might get Mitchell next season, which I think can lead into a different discussion about the destination. Is New York now a destination? I know everybody wants to force them to be one because it is New York.
Right.
But are they, Jeremiah?
Well, I mean, I don't know. And yeah, I was thinking about, like, as you guys were talking about the free agent thing, like, obviously Julius Randle signed with them too. So it's like Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle are kind of the guys in recent memory that the Knicks have signed. But Julius Randle, I wouldn't say you would have called him a premier free agent when he signed, right?
Right.
So I think it's fair to be like,
hold on.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be hell no? Why it can't just be?
Because Julius Randle's still not a household name, even though people may
Julius
think
Randle's
he
a household
is.
name.
He's not. But
unless you're a basketball
He's not better
casual,
than
unless
Sabonis.
you're a basketball casual,
Is he?
Huh?
Is he better than Sabonis?
No, but what does that have to do with being a household name?
Well, Sabonis didn't make the All-Star game.
What does that have to do with being a household name?
Perception.
Okay, is De'Aaron Fox a household name?
Absolutely.
Okay, why didn't he make the All-Star team?
That's different.
No, how is it different? It's just the same
Because
argument.
he's not playing in New York.
They're both left-handed.
Look,
He's not a household.
Julius, if you're not a basketball casual,
Knicks
Julius
fans
Randle.
hate him, by the way. I'm just saying. It's true, they do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Julius
They
Randle
do.
podcast, the Julius Randle hate podcast, where we hate on Julius Randle. And
I'm
New
not
York
hating.
Knicks.
He's a good player.
Yes, you are.
I just think he's overrated.
Every year on fantasy basketball, if I'm in the league, I get Julius Randle.
Why?
Yeah, he is a great regular season stat pattern.
Numbers.
He's a stat pattern. There it is. He's a stat pattern. Thank you. Thank you for saying it.
Oh man,
That's what he is.
I'm a sip my ghost over here.
Shout out to Ghost. Make sure y'all sponsor this episode, by the way.
Yes, sir.
We'll
And
be
I'm
reaching out.
gonna leave that words. But back on topic, I would say they are a free agent destination for one reason only.
Don't say JR.
No, and I don't think it's basketball related. I think because it's New York City.
Right.
So like, if you're a young guy and you're starting out your career, or even if you're established and And you want to live in the Big Apple, right? Like New York City is the mecca of
basketball,
of life, almost. You know what I mean? Like,
it's really cold.
Yeah, it is cold in certain months of the
city
year.
doesn't sleep.
Yeah, but it's New York City.
You got to walk everywhere.
Yeah, you have
people are mean.
That sounds really fun. I want to walk.
You can take the subway.
You drive a Tesla. You don't even drive.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You
That's
don't
fair.
drive.
But so I would say it's a free agent destination only because New York City as a whole is getting a lot of hate right now on this podcast, but because it's New York City. I love New York City as a city.
Shout out to New York.
I think a lot of people love New York City. It gets a lot of hate because of the whole political landscape at this point. But New York City is still New York City. It always will be. It always has been. And I think for that reason, it's a free agent destination. But no, the Knicks aren't really all that right now. Madison Square Garden obviously has histories. It's fun to play there. Opposing players love to play there. But other than the fact that
What did
it's
Wemby
New York
say?
City,
Wemby wasn't impressed by it.
yeah. Well, it's old.
Well, yeah, it's really old. That's what everybody says. The oldest. I forget who it was, but they said it's the worst arena in the league because everything is updated now everywhere.
It's like the Oakland Coliseum age wise.
But they upgraded the arena though.
Yeah, but have you been there? Or recently have you been there?
I haven't.
It's old and it feels old. But when I was there, it's nostalgic, right?
Nostalgic.
Historic.
You feel it's true. It's like you feel the history and you feel New York as you're there. And you're over here laughing like crazy, Mark, but it's true. You go in there and you immediately you're kind of like
So name me
embodied
stars.
by all the
How about
history
this?
there.
Name me stars that would willingly sign in New York.
I don't think there's really any right now that would.
So what are you arguing then?
I'm just saying I'm not. But back to my earlier point, I'm not even saying. I'm saying the only reason they are a free agent destination, if you're going to say they are, is because of New York City. But
So you don't believe it though.
I don't think they're a free agent destination for basketball. I think unless you want to live in New York, no.
What about you?
I've never met anybody that said, no disrespect to New York, but I've never met anybody that said, I want to live there that visited New York.
If I was a billionaire and I could own a penthouse.
Now, visit New York, a lot of people want to do that.
See,
like I love Las Vegas. Las Vegas, I love you.
I cannot live there.
This is my camera right here. Las Vegas, I love you, but I will not live there.
I can't stand Vegas.
I love you, Vegas.
When they get their expansion team, they're gonna be a hot free agent market. But I hate Vegas.
I was there for 7 days for the full term of
I've
summer
been there.
league.
I've been there so much. I
was so tired of that.
I've spent
I gotta get the
months.
hell out of here.
I spent months of my life in Vegas.
See, I'm
I can't
tired.
stand Vegas.
We live in Sacramento, and I'm tired in Sacramento. I need energy drinks all the time to get through the day. At least in Las Vegas, like I'm tired.
Shout out Ghost
for a reason.
Shout out Ghost energy.
Gets me through my day.
Shout out Ghost, man.
And I definitely need them in Vegas, and it's an enjoyable time.
So you don't see a superstar willingly, keyword, signing in New York?
No.
Not Giannis.
No.
Not Joel Embiid. Not
LeBron. No KD. No.
Not because of the optionality you have in the NBA, right? Like you go to the Lakers. Who would rather live in New York over LA? I don't know many people, right? Unless you're wanting to be a Broadway star, like you're going to go to LA, right? The sun's out. It's a great place to live.
I agree.
Look, unless you're a billionaire in New York, I don't think I would want to live there unless you can live because if you can take helicopters from the roof of your building and you can take PJs everywhere. Sure. But even NBA money's not that, doesn't allow for that type of lifestyle. Like, it does to a certain extent. But if you're going to be smart with it, you can't be taking helicopters every day off the roof of your building. Like, if you're on a reasonable free agent contract. So, yeah,
Is it crazy to say that I believe Giannis would prefer to play in Sacramento than New York?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Is that crazy?
I wouldn't say crazy.
Yes. Let's go.
I wouldn't say crazy because I think Giannis would rather play in California. In general.
That's fair. That's fair.
But Sacramento, bro.
Hey,
I love Sacramento. I wasn't born in Sac, but I was born in this area of California. I love Sacramento, and I wouldn't want to sign here if I had other options.
If you had New York as your other option.
If it's New York or Sacramento.
I would pick New York personally.
Wow.
Oh, man.
What if you have a family?
Mm-hmm. I would pick Sacramento.
There you go.
And that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Next topic.
I guess we're going to go there. Okay, so staying in the California scheme of things, a little bit of so let me put this in perspective a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
the Warriors have had a super up and down season all year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen it. They won. Let me finish this. They won games early.
Sheesh.
They went on losing streaks. They won more. They've been bouncing around the whole year, right?
Right.
You at home, you'll probably agree. Recently, the Dubs had won, 10 out of 12. Then they lost Steph to this ankle thing. And then they lost a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Steph's going to be back probably in a couple games. We'll see exactly how the timetable. He already has bad ankles, so we'll see how it goes. Steph's going to return. They're going to Steph, Clay, healthy Draymond if he's not suspended. You know, the Draymond. Look, I think we'll get to that.
If he's not suspended.
Healthy Draymond, and assuming he's not suspended, he'll be playing. It's still got that. You got Pods, you got Wiggs, you've got
CP.
Kuminga.
We're hoping CP gets 30 points, scores some 30 points, bro.
You got guys like that. You got their role player situation. Do the Warriors have another playoff run in them currently constructed?
No.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna go with it, so I was expand on that. No, why such an adamant no?
They're just not good enough anymore. And I hate to say it, and I know that they just beat the Kings last year, and it took a historic, with the capital H, performance by Steph Curry to put up 50 in a Game 7 on the road. I understand that. They also got away with a lot of BS from the refs, which is another topic that we'll be discussing later on. And I think the NBA wanted the Warriors versus the Lakers, and they got it. They got Bron versus Steph. They got that. But if you look at the roster from top to bottom, who's their second best player? Answer that.
That is a good question.
I mean, no, it's not. It's not. No, it's not.
legit.
Mark,
If you
it's
can't
not legit.
identify the second best player
I can't identify.
in less than 0.5 seconds,
I can identify.
There's a problem.
I
No.
thought we were looking to Mark. I can identify
No,
less
you
than
can't.
0.5 seconds.
No, you can't.
The second best player. The second best player in the Warriors is Draymond Green.
wrong.
Ooh,
Okay, who is it?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Oh, wait, if you don't know, then it's Draymond Green by default. Who do you say it is?
I was gonna say Jonathan Kuminga. I really like
there?
Draymond.
I'm not going to go there.
Draymond,
I'm sorry, Draymond.
Draymond, I apologize.
I apologize.
Draymond, I apologize for the actions of my co-host. Saying Jonathan Kuminga is better than Draymond Green. I apologize.
This is the thing about Draymond, man.
I don't know who the second best player is.
Draymond-
That's the problem. That they don't have one.
Stop
right?
the cap. We know it's Draymond Green.
When-
Every time he's on the
if
floor and
healthy-
he's impacting the game.
If healthy, it's Andrew Wiggins. But I don't know.
See, this
if-
is
I don't know.
very, very debatable.
what do you think? Who do you think it is, Mark?
No, like I said, I think it could.
Kuminga, huh?
It could be a bunch of guys. It's that close.
That's the problem.
It's that close. It's that
But I don't
close.
That's
think it
why
is.
they're the
How are you
10th
sa-
seed.
how are you
That's
saying
why they're
it's
the
that
10th
close?
seed.
How are you saying it's that close though?
Like
If
because
you
what do you
watch the
mean?
Warriors,
How do
you covered the
But
Warriors.
how do we compare Draymond and Jonathan Kuminga or Draymond and Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins or whatever? How do we compare? When I look at Draymond Green, Draymond is so amazing at what he does as far as his leadership, his defense, the way he runs the offense or whatever. But when you look at his numbers, obviously it's not going to blow you away. But the things he do is hard to track. Jonathan Kuminga and the rest of these guys, you need what Draymond does. Like Draymond is the engine to this team or whatever. All those.
But
Who was the second best player?
But he's not
in-
their second best player. Okay.
In their last championship, who was their second best player?
Man, that's
Andrew Wiggins. Stop the
Yeah.
cap. Who was their second best player? Clear cut, by the way.
especially in the finals.
Who stopped Jason Tatum?
Yeah, are we talking about just the finals?
That entire playoffs, the entire playoffs, Andrew Wiggins was their second best player.
Jordan Poole.
During that run.
Jordan Poole might have been their second
He
best
was
player during
garbage
that
in
run.
the finals, by the way.
Are we talking about the finals or are we
I'm
talking about
saying
the playoffs?
everything. Like you have to put everything
Okay, so
together.
you take Draymond Green off of the Warriors in their last championship and they win, but you take Wiggs off and they lose.
No, you need them all. That's like the Warriors are.
Yeah.
They're such.
I'm just saying who's more.
Which was because we
If
know that
they're
hold on,
both
we
at
know the
their
NBA,
best-
we know the NBA is riddled with injuries
Who's
all
better?
the time.
No. If they're both at their best, who's better?
Draymond.
What?
Impact wise.
You can't replace what Draymond did.
We've seen what Draymond
That's what
does.
Wiggs did though.
No, but
he definitely wasn't Draymond. He definitely wasn't Draymond.
In the finals?
He was not Draymond.
That's insane. They beat such a good, talented Celtics team when the Warriors weren't even supposed to even be there in the first place.
When you think about that's the greatness of Draymond Green or whatever. It's like it's very hard to pick.
I love Draymond, by the way.
It's very hard to pick.
It could have fooled me.
Could have
fooled me, bro.
Is he a great scorer?
No.
But he's giving you 30 in the finals.
He's a great who?
Draymond's giving you 30 in the finals.
Once.
Yeah, I mean, he could do it. He could get 10, 15 rebounds. He could give you 10, 15 assists. He could give you 3 to 5 blocks or steals.
And it's all the intangibles too. And you covered the words. Anyone who watches the games.
But he doesn't.
He did it though.
What's his career high? What's Andrew's career high in assists?
Did he not do it?
What's his career high in assists?
So do they win without Wiggins?
No, they don't win without any of them. That was like a great team effort right there.
They win without Draymond.
Oh my God, no way.
If you replace Draymond with Sabonis, they win.
No.
If you replace Draymond with Sabonis,
no.
I don't know.
Celtics.
That's a stupid hypothetical, but I don't know.
Yeah, you do say it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
you do say it.
After seeing the way that Sabonis impacted the series last year against the Warriors, I don't know. And that's no hate on Sabonis. I love Domas, and I don't think he's soft.
Draymond.
But
throw that in there. Who's calling him soft?
I don't know who's calling him soft, but it sure isn't me. I'm not. I would never call Domas. I would never call Domas Sabonis.
Shout out to Ghost, by the way, man.
Look. My point is, you might be able to make an argument. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins was better in that run. But Draymond is absolutely in the conversation for the best player, for the second best player in the world.
He was awful in the playoffs. What are we saying?
Okay, but the body of work that Draymond has.
That's not what we're saying. Right now, who's their second best player?
Draymond.
There is none.
Look at the impact. Okay, look at
That's
the impact.
my argument.
Look at the
that
impact.
the Warriors don't have a second best player.
Look at the impact he's made since he came back from suspension. The Warriors went on a great run until Steph's injury, basically. They were just winning games. They were rattling off wins.
They won tonight.
Did they?
Yeah.
Without Steph.
Yeah, Steph's going to be out, a couple more games maybe, at best.
I'm not impressed by what they've done.
Oh, I mean they should have won tonight because they got decimated at home by the Spurs in their last game. That was embarrassing.
They lost to the Celtics by a lot, right?
Every team loses the Celtics by a lot. They got the greatest point
the
differential.
Cavs.
They have the largest point differential.
Not the Cavs apparently, without Mitchell and someone else.
You act like the NBA isn't like any team can beat any team on any given night.
That's
Who lost to the Pistons, Leo? Who lost to the Pistons at home?
The soft Kings did.
The soft. Oh my God. Well, we're doubling down on that. I can't. They're not soft. They're not soft. But
They're soft.
Let's. So I'm going to say Draymond's second best player. Do you have like an answer? You said Kuminga, right?
You said Kuminga.
Yeah.
And you said they don't have one.
I don't
The
think they have
disrespect
one.
to Clay, the disrespect to Chris Paul, the disrespect to
I was
Draymond.
just looking at what Chris Paul did too. Almost had a triple double, 19 points.
If they have
9
one,
rebounds, 8
it's
Didn't catch my
Wiggins.
parlay though. Chris Paul's gonna be the reason my parlay don't catch.
I'm hoping he gets 30, bro. That's a great parlay,
Thank you,
by
bro.
the way.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm ready to get 30 this year. That's
wild.
a crazy parlay, by
Yeah,
the way.
that is crazy.
To answer the original question of do they have a playoff run in them, I believe they do.
How? If
I
they don't-
believe-
if
I
they don't have a
believe they
second best
can.
player.
I don't believe they have a playoff run. I'm going to disagree with you there. I think what we've seen too much this season from the Warriors is the fact that it's kind of just Steph, Draymond being back from suspension and being like, he seems to have kind of turned a corner in the way that he approaches life in the game, which is great. I think they're going to give the rest of the season a good run, but I don't think they have what it takes to beat a Denver, to beat even a Sacramento anymore. Like, Sacramento's wildly inconsistent, but I don't know if they have what it takes to beat Sacramento again this year.
And what did Fox tell you last night?
They get up for the good games.
They do. They do.
There are no bad teams in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's true.
Or is there? No. Right?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I mean, the Pelicans this year probably.
Here we go.
The Pelicans are probably going to be in the playoffs, and the Pelicans are no prize. So, I mean, if I owned a restaurant, maybe, but I'd love to see that team pull up, that team bus pull
more
up.
fat shaming.
Yeah.
There's no fat shaming coming from this side of the table, bro. You take one look at me, and there's no fat shaming coming from this side of the table. I'm just saying, if I owned a restaurant,
Great investment, by the way. Great investment.
You can tell
if you're in New Orleans.
I patronize restaurants just as much as Zion would. Stephen A. is going to come out with a story about me next.
Oh my goodness.
No, but I think there's
So
going to
no.
be. I think
so
that,
both me and him say no. You say yes. But why?
Yeah,
is it just because of the DNA?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Like the DNA, like it's not a more so like people be like they could turn it on in the playoffs or whatever, whatnot. It's not necessarily that, but when you look at the guys that are, we expect to make big runs in the playoffs or whatever. It's a lot of new teams. It's a lot of young guys or whatever, and I do think that veteran experience, if they're healthy and firing on all cylinders, I think that veteran presence is going to be a huge difference in a 7-game series. You got me crying, tears coming out my eyes and stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I agree. The veteran presence is always big in the playoffs.
You can't count them out. Steph Curry comes back healthy. Like he's the last couple of years, if I'm correct, he's gotten hurt like right before the playoffs. I know the year they won the championship, he was hurt. Like, I believe it was an ankle injury. He comes back.
Yeah.
He's rested, and he comes back an absolute savage. So if we get another one of those Steph Curry runs, I could easily see the Golden State Warriors making a run. Will they win it all? I'm not saying that, but I can see them being very, very competitive.
So obviously there's been a lot recently with LeBron James and the GOAT debate, past 40,000 points, Michael, Steph, Kareem, Kobe. We're all talking about the GOAT situation. However, we still have players that currently play with LeBron James, and they have to navigate the life of playing with LeBron James. Mm-hmm. And we've seen a lot of, over the years, LeBron making decisions in the coaching role almost and making decisions about the roster, things like that. I have a question for the group here. How do you get back in the good graces, like D'Angelo Russell did recently, of LeGM James? Mm-hmm. How do you get back in the good graces of LeGM James? Because LeBron wanted D'Lo traded weeks ago, and now he's like, he's on the court. Traded. He's like kicking the ball back, and you take the shot. I trust you. You take the. Okay.
And the craziest part is that people said they focused more on LeBron than they did with D'Lo making that shot. Like the whole social media clip was LeBron coaching coach, which is just crazy, as opposed to giving D'Lo his credit, his props.
See, and y'all both just said it. That's how you get in his good grace. You make shots. You make shots when he wants you to make shots. You make shots when you don't expect him to make shots. You make shots.
That's how.
D'Angelo Russell needs to shoot that ball, and that's what that face was. He looked at him. He gave him the ball, and you seen the look, and it was shoot that ball, and we made it, and that's why coach, if we want to call him that, that's why he's GOAT.
Oh, last week he's tripling down.
Yeah,
now.
He's tripling down on the Legoka. I mean, I think that's a great take. Honestly, I mean, I don't have a ton to add on that. I mean, I think
that might be the hook.
There's a couple there's a couple things you have to do when you play with LeBron James to have LeBron James like in your corner. One of them is like Mark is saying play your role, take your shots. That's what LeBron wants from you. The other thing, and let's just be honest about this, you can't really criticize LeBron when you play with LeBron either. So there's this understanding that LeGM, LeCoach, LeGoat is all of those things, and you can't really publicly confront him on any of that. So there's a couple things there, but the main one's got to be playing your role.
There's something to this because D'Lo essentially said, I've been through all this adversity all year long, and he was alluding to the deadline and how he thought he was going to get traded. Yeah. And there were multiple deals on the table, and then now he's like beloved again. See what I'm saying? Like it messes with the emotions. He said that those experiences turned me into a killer.
Yeah.
That's crazy to say.
I mean, Kuz went through the same thing. We saw Kuz go through the same thing, and when his time at the end of the Lakers run, like those last few, the end of his situation in LA, where it looked the same way, where he, trade deadlines, and you don't know if you're getting moved. Like Kuz went through the same thing, and Kuz has been really good in Washington. So, and everyone was kind of saying that Kuz is going to come into his own when he gets away from LeBron. No disrespect to LeBron, but LeBron is the centerpiece of that offense, of any offense, right? And so when he went kind of to his own team, he kind of he's averaging 4 or 5 this season, and
they suck, but yeah.
Well, they do suck, but
somebody got to score.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can't be good on your. I mean, okay, someone has got to score. We're not even talking, but everyone tells me Jordan Poole is this talented.
This guy. He's as talented as Steph. So, his rookie year.
Everyone tells me. Everyone hails the praises of Jordan Poole, and he's so talented, and he just has a little bit of an issue with his IQ and making the right decisions. Someone's got to score. Someone's got to score in Washington, and it's not Jordan Poole. So, anyways, we're getting off topic here. But
but like you said, like I think it was J.R. Smith or Amon Shumpert. One of them were like, LeBron. Like when we look at the game, we like LeBron makes the game easier for everybody.
He does,
and it's true to an extent, but it's also a lot of pressure, which makes the game extremely hard. It's like because when a mistake happened, like J.R. in the finals,
it's magnified.
Is magnified
1,000%.
But that was more than a mistake. That was
a bad example. That was a bad example. But there's other times. There are other times, just like with D'Lo, and that let's go back to D'Lo or whatever. When he passed the ball to LeBron, imagine what it would have looked like if LeBron throws him the ball back and he bricks it. If he bricks it, now it's a different conversation. But now he has that pressure with LeBron passing it to him and looking like that. Now D'Lo knows I have to shoot this.
Yeah,
well, nobody shoots to miss,
right?
So it's that's a different type of pressure. So is it easier on you or is it harder? Which that's another conversation.
And that's one of those situations where I think it's a perfectly appropriate response to say, I'm not an NBA player. I've never played sports on that level, so I don't really know.
Right.
But if as an outsider, right? Like I'm not going to talk about this from the perspective of an NBA player because I'm not one.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be one of those pundits who's like, I know what this...
You could do it. Go for it.
But from an outsider's perspective, I would think it would make my life easier because LeBron is publicly showing his faith and trust in me at the end of games and in big shots. So from my perspective, that would make it easier on me to take those shots with kind of a clear head and just live with the results.
And Leo, you a shooter.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you.
You're a knockdown shooter, right?
Yeah. You want the rock.
I hate to agree with him, but he's right. He's right because the whole idea behind analytics is to get open shots, right? You stand in the corner, you get shots, but you need the superstar to create those shots. LeBron does that for you. So there is some validity to what you said about it being magnified and having more pressure to hit those shots because they're worth more. Mm-hmm. You're in LA, you're playing with Bron, so you're always a contender to some extent. So, but the whole idea here, the ultimate goal is to always what? Get a clean open shot. Yeah. And when you play with LeBron, for the most part, you get quality shots playing with him, right? Some guys, like you said, sometimes they come in as a knockdown shooter, like Beasley. Yep. Could not hit a shot to save his life. He was killing in Minnesota or in Utah. It was Minnesota, Utah, then the Lakers. He got traded there, could not hit a shot. Mm-hmm. So some guys flail in those moments. Some guys thrive, and
open shots are different.
And speaking on like getting back to the topic of LeGM James, LeBron kind of does that to himself. He doesn't really like to play with younger players these days. So
1,000%,
100%. Like you see that in the decisions and the way he's thinking about his roster. He's not really wanting to play with younger players, so he's getting these guys who maybe not are at the tail end of their careers, but they're well established and they're obviously on the latter half. So. Right. That's also something sense. He's done for himself. So that's he gets his way, right? Like
always.
He
should.
He is the reason the Lakers roster he's the reason the Lakers roster is what it is. So you can say what you want about Rob Pelinka or whatever. He's the reason the Lakers roster
why didn't
is
they draft
the way it is.
My guy, Jaime Jaquez? If that was They drafted one of the youngest players in the draft, who has been in the G League the entire time, when Hyman could have been their starter or their sixth man, literally.
That would have been crazy.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In their backyard, UCLA, older rookie, 23, 24 years old, drafted. I'm sure LeBron was pissed.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been, but LeBron probably had to have some sort of input into that.
Why do we assume that? Why do we assume
because
that?
Because GM James, he always in Cleveland days. Go back to the Cleveland days. He always has a say in the roster that's on the court. Maybe not so much the drafting procedures.
He traded Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love.
He traded him.
Peace.
Not the Cleveland Cavaliers. He traded him.
We can't act like this isn't true though. We see it. It's true, Mark. It's absolutely true.
So we can't use that on factor cap.
No. But what we can talk about on factor cap is what you're about to bring up. Speaking of influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to that factor cap. Is it a fact or is it cap that the referees have too much influence on the outcome of games?
It's a fact.
It's a fact. And we should use artificial intelligence by now to have robots out there consistently calling what a foul is and what a foul isn't. So I don't want no benefit of the call for superstars. No, if it's a foul, call it.
Yeah, it's
I don't care if it's Jeremiah getting fouled on the floor or if it's LeBron Goat James getting fouled. If it's a foul,
you really had to make me the bottom in the comparison, huh? You had to make me the bottom of the barrel in your comparison. Okay, Leo, I see how it is. That's
you know what
crazy.
I'm saying?
Show me some love in the comments, everyone. I'm taking it from all sides today.
We had to, bro.
That's crazy.
We had to.
We had to use me as the bottom of the barrel. That's wild.
That was wild.
That's crazy. Anyways, continue with your point, good sir.
I'm just saying. I feel like AI will come into effect in about 10 years. And these refs, well, not really, because the NBA is all about making money. But if they're serious about the integrity of the game, they got to stop. They got to stop because people are gambling on games, and we know referees know what spreads are, man. I don't care if they admit it or not. We know it to be true.
So this is a really interesting thought that I've had and kind of a comparison with different sports. So the MLB suffers at this point with a lack of parity in their game, right? Like there's so many teams at the bottom of divisions that just don't matter and their games are meaningless. And sure, they have their TV deals because it's a major sport. But there's a huge lack of parity in baseball. Like, the teams that are going to be at the top, and then there's going to be those wildcard teams like the Giants that could make a run and surprise someone, right? But there's a huge lack of parity. NBA does not suffer from that. You look at the West and you see you've got your top teams and then you've got 8 teams that are vying for the rest of the playoff spots or the play-ins. And I'll give the NBA props for having a lot of parity. Does that go away when you move to an officiating system where there's not a whole lot of spreads taken into account and there's not a whole lot of this team made a huge run, and so we're going to call a couple fouls to try to get this game a little closer.
Know, bro.
Does the NBA then suffer from a parity issue, and then you have teams that fall?
I got into baseball just because I started gambling on it. So
that's it.
1-800-GAMBLER, Leo.
1-800-GAMBLER, man. Bovada sponsor the show, by the way.
No, Bovada. We don't talk about Bovada. What do you mean? Just Prize Picks around here, right? Prize Picks. That's crazy.
So I don't know, bro, because there are days where the A's, our beloved A's, are plus 180, plus 200, and they be hitting sometimes. So there is some...
Not recently, bro. Not recently.
Hey, preseason they've been hitting. Stop it.
Shout out my guy, Zach Geloff, but they don't be doing anything these days.
So are we admitting right here that we believe that the refs...
I am.
It's all about the gambling.
I don't think it's scripted in the way that Leo might say it's scripted, but I do think there's. I'm gonna be honest. I saw it because we're local to Sacramento, so we watch all the teams that come to Sacramento. I saw it in the last Sacramento game. The run that the who were the
Rockets.
The Rockets. Yikes. The Rockets went on that run right late in the game, and the Kings didn't really do a whole lot to counter that run. But the Kings got right back into that game, and it was obvious to me it was the whistle shift. The Rockets were getting all the whistles, and then
It's basketball,
shifted in the Kings. So whether you want to just call it runs, the officiating has a huge influence on the runs that basketball teams make. Yes. Fouls. You get into the Kings. The wildest thing to me is the Kings were in they got into the penalty early. Next quarter, Rockets got in the penalty early. Kings weren't. So like it's things like that, and the game didn't change a whole lot in my opinion. It's just the whistle goes another way, and it's parity, man. And I think it makes for a great product, but it is what it is.
The ultimate goal is to what? It's to have the recreational fan watch the game, and how do you do that? By trying to keep games close. If you have nothing but blowouts, ain't nobody gonna watch that stuff. You know what I mean? Like you want to keep games entertaining because it's an entertainment business. It makes sense to keep games. And what do? You start getting Sabonis in foul trouble. Fox fouls out of no. You know what I mean? Like when this happens, guys. Like,
well, you see, Sabonis had like one foul in by the third or fourth quarter against the Rockets, but then he fouled out the game prior. It's like, did he really play a whole lot of a different game?
Didn't.
And magically, no one's fouling out against Sabonis when he gets a black eye every game.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make sense, and the only way you can go is that there's some sort of, whether it's betting or whether I wouldn't even say it's betting necessarily, but it's just like
keeping it competitive.
They have it in the back of their mind that like they know the score, whether they're thinking about the spread or they're just thinking in general about the score of the game and where the game's headed. It seems to have some sort of impact.
Hey, because I know I refereed an AAU game.
Did.
And it went into like triple overtime strictly because of me.
Because of your integrity.
That's crazy.
It was strictly because of me.
But because of what you believe in, which is the right call.
The right call, yeah. And it was a kid, it was like, and this is not even like high school AAU. This is like third grade or something like that. Third grader comes up. It's like 3 seconds on the clock. They inbound the ball. He dribbles. He's at like half court. There's no way he could get the ball without getting fouled. There's no way he could get the ball from half court to the hoop to have a chance.
Right.
But the kid hits him. It was before the buzzer went out. I called a foul. I called a whistle. He knocks down a free throw. We have overtime. We go to the next overtime, and parents are furious with me. They're pissed. It
was a foul, though.
It was a foul's a foul. But we at the end of the game again.
He cares.
It's seconds left. Kid drives to the lane, gets hit on the arm. I blow the whistle. Get back to the free throw line.
That's a clean whistle, too.
Double overtime. Now we're going into triple overtime. Nobody else is on the court but my court and this team. And now I'm looking for the foul. I'm like, oh no, we gonna finish this game correctly. I don't care. You bet not foul. Everybody know if you've been to a third grade AAU game, they foul every single play.
Yeah.
So I strung it out so long. The varsity coach came, Rob Streeter. Shout out to Clovis North and them guys. But he came down and he was like, "Hey Mark, we got to get this game over. You can't keep calling these fouls or whatever." I'm like, "I'm calling the right foul," ain't I? He's like, "Yeah, but I think referees they have too much influence over the game." Yeah. To your point, keeping it competitive makes sense, and that's what's entertaining. I've been a victim of it myself with third graders, but they definitely have too much influence over the game.
But you didn't have influence. You just called the right things. These NBA refs would have just ended the game. See what I'm saying?
I should have ended the game.
See what I'm saying?
What was the game earlier in the year we saw where Paulo Banchero just throws the ball out of bounds? Refs are like, going the other way. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Everyone in the entire stadium knew that ball was out on Banchero. But
or even the whole DeJounte Murray situation, right?
Sitting on the bench to get a technical for not responding.
That's crazy.
Not responding. Now that stuff is just ridiculous. Yeah. That can't happen.
But it happens.
But it happens.
And guess what?
And no accountability. No accountability.
Guess what, though? That point, shift spreads. See what I'm saying? Yeah. See where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or how about let's go Warriors Hornets? Miles Bridges, our boy Brandon Miller. What happens? Not Pods, but the other kid, the kid from the G League. He was playing. They were down by 13, right? They were only up by 9. They scored this bucket at the end when both Steve Kerr and Steve Clifford were shaking hands, and next thing you know, a fight breaks out. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that's point shaving.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges gets into it. Draymond's on the bench yapping, and he's like, "Why did you shoot this?" At this point, you're supposed to clear out.
One of the Golden State Warriors star, Draymond Green. That's a star.
Right. Second best player.
Star.
He
is a
You're
star.
not. You're.
He's not a star.
He's not a star.
No, he's absolutely a star. But why are you saying it with that tone, Mark?
I'm just making sure.
Get the tone out your voice, bro. That's
Let's
crazy.
keep attacking this
the
man.
Disrespect.
He's a star.
Yeah, he is a star. So stop saying a star.
I'm just making sure we agree on that.
Draymond, the
Do we-
star.
Do we all?
Yes, he's a
I'm
star.
just clarifying.
No,
we just
you're
said
not. Get out
Draymond
of here
Green.
with that.
Because he mentioned on the bench,
This
I'm
is
like
some
the
Donald,
star.
This is some
one
Donald
of the-
Trump level gaslighting
one
right
of the
here.
stars.
This is wild.
I love it.
I just thought we was being honest on this podcast.
So how are
I
you
am.
point shaving with like 1
Yeah,
second left
that
on
was
the
wild.
clock?
It's hard to explain stuff like that. I agree with you. It's hard to explain stuff.
That's hard to believe. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy to me. So, with that said, do you have any final thoughts, Jeremiah?
No.
I know
I've taken a lot of shots.
I know
this
he went
game.
into you today.
You know, it's been a tough look at. It's been a. You know, it's just going to be a tough one to recover from. You know, personally. I mean, there's
Yeah.
been a lot of shots this way, and
It's all good.
So we're going to do our best to
I
recover.
took some shots last show. I mean, I said Kobe, and I looked at me like,
Yeah.
damn, just crazy.
Yeah, like here again, the false equivalency is wild. But this has been the 4th episode of the Three to Pay podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit the subscribe button. Those of you who are watching things like this on Instagram, come over on YouTube, join us. We're back every week with another episode. Join us.